What's up? It's your girl FrumpyFit. If you don't know who I am, I'm an online weight loss coach who's dedicated to calling out all the BS in the fitness industry and providing you with accurate fitness, nutrition, and weight loss information. Wow. Today we're doing a video that I did not expect to ever be filming. I'm like kind of mind blown. Abbey Sharp reviewed / reacted to my content here on YouTube, as well as like 4 other people on YouTube who talk about weight loss, but like I don't even understand how I got on that list, because also on the list is John from Obese To Beast, Jordan Shrinks, Jordan Syatt, and Greg Doucette. Like, I don't, does that mean they're my colleagues now? Are they my colleagues? Are we on the same level? Also, John then did a reaction to Abbey's video, which meant he reacted to me. So like, whew, wild, absolutely wild. I will say this is not my first reaction because I did already watch them. There's no way, like I saw that the video existed. Like it just popped up on my homepage. I saw me in the thumbnail of Abbey's video and I freaked out. I thought for sure I was about to get roasted, and some light roasting involved, some criticism involved, which I am super excited to go over today. So let's just jump in.
Hey everyone, I'm Abbey Sharp. Welcome back to Abbey's Kitchen. Today's video is sponsored by Built Bar.
What a coincidence, because this video is also sponsored by Built Bar. And Built Bar has literally been all over the place lately. I think you guys have been commenting, you're like, oh my God, everybody is talking about Built. It's because they launched their new bars. Like these are the new ones, okay? So if you've tried their old ones, you need to try their new ones. Better taste, same great like nutrition profile, super great amount of protein for the amount of calories, and new flavor options as well. And you guys know, I've mentioned this before, maybe you don't know, the texture is my absolute favorite part in addition to the taste. It's so much more like a candy bar than it is a protein bar, which is like mind-blowing because so many protein bars just taste disgusting and don't have as good like calories to protein to carbs to fat kind of like ratio going on as they do. So if you want to try them, there's a link in my description. You click the link, the discount will automatically be applied. You get 20% off. And if for some reason you need to type in a code, you can use this code right here. Just to finish this off, go ahead and roll the clips of the texture. I mean, look at this. Look at it. Really look at it. It's amazing. Okay, so thank you so much, Built, for sponsoring this video.
Now I'm gonna be looking at some of your favorite weight loss YouTubers and sharing some of the recommendations that I actually can support. But before I get into it, I want to chat about my sponsor, Built Bar.
You heard the spiel, okay? We'll go past that. You guys already know Built is amazing.
Now, while you know that this is not a weight loss channel and will continue to not be a weight loss channel, over the past year or so, my professional position has really changed, and I've come to appreciate the importance of meeting people where they are. And to me, that means honoring all health and aesthetic goals, including those that include weight loss. It's really not up to me to decide whether or not that is a good or bad goal, or whether you will succeed or fail.
I love that. I know some of you guys have posted in the comments some skepticisms about Abbey and her content, but I think what I want you guys to realize, and what I hope everybody on the internet will realize, is that not every person, not every content creator, not every piece of content is meant for everyone. Abbey said, meet people where they are. So if you are looking for weight loss and it's the healthy, like right decision for you, I am here for you to give you that information. If weight loss is not the right decision for you, which is like possible, then maybe Abbey's content is great for you, okay? Not every piece of content and not every content creator on the planet is gonna be meant for every single person. That doesn't mean that Abbey's content is bad if you don't find her content relevant or helpful. Doesn't mean my content is bad if you don't find my content helpful or relevant, okay? So I just wanna clear that up. I've also gotten people asking me for my opinion on other creators like Abbey and like John from Obese To Beast. And I want to turn that around on you. What do you think about them? Does their content, like, I can't talk today. Does their content like resonate with you? If it doesn't, don't watch their content. If my content doesn't resonate with you, don't watch my content. There's probably gonna be a point in time, hopefully, where like weight loss isn't your goal anymore, where you wanna move on from needing to know any of this information or even caring, right? And at that point, I hope you move on, okay? I won't be offended.
I wanna clarify that I am not Hayes, and I'm also not strict pro weight loss. I'm all about living in the gray, and I'm willing to help people meet their goals the healthiest, most sustainable way possible. Now, as you have seen on my channel, I am a big proponent of intuitive eating. And intuitive eating, as it was originally conceptualized by its authors in its entirety, with the 10 guiding principles that we talk about, is an amazing, freeing place to get to. But I don't think that it's realistic for everyone to achieve complete food freedom. And I also think that we can gain a lot from even incorporating 1 or 2 or more of the principles into our lives.
Yeah, make it custom to you. Like if certain principles from intuitive eating make sense for you, plug them into your life. If they don't, then don't. Same thing for my content. I absolutely love this part. And so Abby's video is about 40 minutes long. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip to the part where she's talking about moi, just so that this isn't like a 3-hour long video. And then we're gonna react to John's video as well.
I wanted to chat about Lena from FrumpyFit. So in her video, Should You Avoid Certain Foods to Lose Weight?, she talks about her all foods fit philosophy to dieting, where no specific foods are off limits, because to her, nutrition should be all about moderation, not restriction. Yes, girl, Lena, music to my ear. She also talks about how completely eliminating certain bad foods you love often backfires and can just cause you to overeat. Yep. She's definitely right about that. You know, I will say it all the time, but absolute restriction is generally a pretty good setup for a binge. Now, Lena's approach to weight loss is based on mindfulness strategies and activities to help release foods from what she calls our food biases. Let's take a look.
Reevaluate your food biases. A huge reason that people tend to overeat certain foods is that it's a result of restriction. And the reason we restrict certain foods is because we label them as bad, like we're not supposed to be eating them. They're forbidden. And then by making them off limits, it makes us want them more, and then we end up binging. You've probably experienced it in your own life and your own diet, and as a fitness professional, I see this happen all the time. Massive restriction leads to binging almost always.
Yep, you know, I always talk about how dichotomizing food as good or bad or painting foods with a moral lens often sets us up to obsess and overeat the alleged junk. I mean, I know that all foods are obviously not nutritionally equal, but if we make them morally equal, we're much more likely to be able to eat in response to physical rather than just our emotional needs. Now, in her video, The Best Diet for Weight Loss in 2020, she explains the concept of flexible dieting. So basically, this is the idea that you can calculate your caloric needs and eat within those guidelines. Now, I want to flag that I'm not a fan of strict calorie counting for everyone, partially because I think it's a flawed science where, 1, online calculators really can't do your unique metabolic needs justice, and 2, food manufacturers can also be legally off by 20% on their calorie counts.
So I actually thought it was 25%, so I'm glad that she clarified that. Yes, food labels can be legally off by 20%. It's insane. And I absolutely agree with her saying that like an online calculator may not do you as a unique individual justice. So that's why I always say, I have my clients work with a range, and I also always say that when you calculate your calories, like in my calorie calculator video, for example, that's a starting point. It's a guess. And you have to determine whether or not the guess was correct based on how your body responds. So just because you calculate your calories doesn't mean that that's like the law now. It's really just an educated guess. And that's why I never want someone to get too obsessed with the numbers.
What I do like about this idea of flexible dieting is that it discourages cutting out whole foods or food groups, and it doesn't encourage any other bogus, non-evidence-based rules and restrictions. So for example, here's what Lena suggests are her guidelines for flexible dieting that I can definitely get behind.
What I tell my clients is,
Okay, so you saw me cringe earlier because when she mentioned this video and I saw this video as being the one that she looked at in the description because she tagged all the videos she looked at, I almost passed out. So I made this video It's called The Best Diet for Weight Loss 2020, but I really filmed it in 2019 because like algorithm, you know what I'm saying? I keep it relevant because I still also believe that it's a really great diet for weight loss, but oh my gosh, I think I had 80 subscribers when I made this video. I was just getting started. I was filming on my iPhone, which I actually still do, by the way. This is the front-facing camera on my iPhone. I just got a mic. Hey, what's up? And I'm trying to like, you know, up my content quality game. In addition to filming on my iPhone, I edited this entire video on my iPhone. All of my early videos were edited completely on my phone, which is insane. Like, I do not ever recommend doing that. Also, the little like FrumpyFit font in the bottom left corner and like the sound, the music in the background, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I put you guys through that. I also will say, in addition to those things I already mentioned, this video is painfully boring. The information is great, but oh my gosh, I would not watch this video. It is so boring. And a bunch of people commented and they're like, Elena, you seem like very awkward or like not comfortable on camera. And like, you guys know me, I'm like super weird and like to move around a lot and make weird faces. And I do none of that in this video. Like, in this video, we're gonna talk about flexible dieting, okay? So calories and macros and I'm just like, that with the music in the background, I just cannot. And this video is so old, like I said, I don't even remember what I said, so I was panicking. Another thing you have to consider, like as like a content creator myself who's built an audience, which I'm like so grateful for and like shocked by every single day that like I have 65 or 66,000 of you watching my videos. Wow. I didn't understand exactly how to create content and phrase things in a way that would be most helpful for my audience, right? So in a lot of my old videos, I will say things in a certain way that I wouldn't say them in the same way anymore. Like for example, I think in my 5 things I learned in 5 years of fitness or something like that, I said that like all supplements are a waste of money. And that was because at the time I wasn't spending any money on supplements, and it was like, I definitely still agree that most supplements are a waste of money, but depending on your particular individual situation, it might make sense for you to buy certain supplements. And so I shouldn't have been so absolute in the way that I said that, but like I just didn't have enough feedback from my audience yet because it was literally 80 or less than that, I think. I feel for past me in this video. Love her to death because she got me to here where I am right now, but wow. We've come a long way. We've come a long way. So please just bear with me through this clip. It's horrible. I'm so sorry. I apologize, but like, we'll do it together.
Eat a minimum of 3 to 4 servings of veggies per day, 2 to 3 servings of fruit per day, and also to make sure that they're drinking enough water and they're eating enough fiber.
Yes, weight loss or not, all of these suggestions are great evidence-based gentle nutrition recommendations and do not seem punishing at all. So even if you don't want to track calories and just want to focus on some of these strategies right here, you will absolutely see benefits to your health. And as for weight loss, obviously if you decide to add 3 servings of fruit or veg to your diet and change nothing else, it's not going to help you lose weight. But this is where that intuition piece comes in. If you are adding 3 servings of fruits and veggies, you'll likely feel more satiated due to their high fiber content, which will likely result in edging out some of those higher calorie, highly processed foods. And I think, yes, weight loss does come down to calories, even if counting calories or manipulating them is, as I've said, a bit of a flawed science. And if you want to better understand the nuances of calories and why it's not quite as simple as just eat less, you can watch my video on metabolic damage here. But I like that her unique approach to flexible dieting is also grounded in some of the principles of intuitive eating.
Yeah, I of course agree completely with everything that Abby is saying. I also just noticed that she has a very similar mic like the one that I do, but it looks like hers is going through like under her shirt and it's pinned over here, and I couldn't figure that out. Testing new microphone. Testing, 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 testing. I just tore out a thread on my shirt. Damn it. Okay, so moving on. The last thing that she said before we jump into this next clip is she appreciates my unique approach to flexible dieting. And I honestly love that she said that because I absolutely, like, that's what I'm going for. I don't think that you should follow any single diet or dieting strategy in an absolute way. I think you need to look at the principles of that diet and decide what makes sense for you. So I do flexible dieting and calorie counting very different than a lot of people do. And I think that's why I am able to get the success with my clients that I am. You can watch this How My Coaching Has Changed video, which will explain all of it. I don't want to get into it. So let's move on.
One of the huge reasons why I think flexible dieting is the best diet for weight loss is because there's an end. In my opinion, there's an end goal. One of the main reasons that I think flexible dieting is so great is that it teaches you so much about food. When you do flexible dieting for an extended period of time, you gain this really deep understanding of how food plays a role in your life. You learn about how certain foods make you feel. You learn about how much of a certain food you really need to eat to feel satisfied or to get the fuel in that you need for that day or your workout or whatever it is. Because when you're tracking your food, you're paying attention to it. And the appeal with a lot of other diets is that you don't really have to pay attention to that stuff. You just know what you can and can't eat and you go for it. But I think you're doing yourself a disservice by not learning about the food that you're eating.
I don't disagree. I mean, one of my professional criticisms of flexible dieting is that people sometimes use it to justify eating a lot of kind of low nutrition foods with the argument that it's okay because it fits their macros. That's not untrue from an energy balance standpoint. But as Lena often points out, doing this won't actually make you feel very good. And the goal of healthful eating should be to feel healthy and satisfied and sustain these behaviors long term. Again, I don't think everyone needs to count calories to get to this place of understanding how foods make you feel. But if having that data is helpful for you in this process and not triggering, great. I mean, you do you. Use that tool.
Yeah, I really want to make a video like talking about whether or not, like how you can decide whether or not calorie counting is the right decision for you, because it is not the right decision for everybody. So I want to create some content that might help guide you into making that decision, because I think a lot of people might just do calorie counting because so many people talk about it and the benefits, but they don't really evaluate whether or not it makes sense for them. So I want to give you like some sort of guideline of how you might be able to make that decision. Okay, that's where we're going to end watching Abby's video. That's the last she's going to mention about me. Again, I would check out her entire video where she talks about all the other people that she mentions. Still so shocked that this even happened. Abby, thank you so much for all the kind things that you said about me and my content. I am like so appreciative of that. Now let's hop over to John's channel, Obese To Beast, and see what he has to say. I was actually really surprised because John was more critical of what I had to say in these clips than Abby was, and he actually even roasted me a little bit. So let's just hop over to John's channel. Okay, we're skipping straight to the part where John is reacting to my stuff. Here we go.
All right, moving on to another common request. I wanted to chat about Lena from FrumpyFit.
Okay, I'm not gonna make you watch Abby's stuff all over again because you already heard it. So let's just cut to where John is adding his commentary.
Okay, so I'm just kind of being nitpicky, but whatever. The one thing I want to say here is that like I feel like a lot of these tips are good for people that maybe aren't trying to lose much, or that might not have like genuine like food addictions and stuff, because I know for me, like I genuinely had to cut out soda. Like there was no, oh, I'll just have a Coke with dinner, just one. I had to cut that out. And like that really helped me, and that was something that really helped me. I'm not saying that you have to do it with everything, but there might be certain things that you might feel like, okay, I need to cut these things out, and just not have them for a while, for a season, for a little bit of time, because I can't control myself around them, right? So I think it's important to bring up. I don't necessarily even disagree with what is being said here, but I just want the people that might feel like they should cut things out, or there are some things that they should cut out, to feel validated in that thought and not feel like because they're doing that, they're entrenched in diet culture and therefore they are going to trigger a binge, right? I don't think that's necessarily the case every single time. Yeah, and it's so cute. He has his like chat going on the side, and I saw a comment that said, I love FrumpyFit, and FrumpyFit is so great, I'm gonna cry. But anyway,
back to what John was saying. So I absolutely agree with everything he's saying. And actually, if you watch that video of should you avoid certain foods for weight loss, I do mention in that video that sometimes it might be the right decision that you need to cut out a certain food, but it's your decision. You need to decide what that food is and why. And hopefully eventually, after cutting that food out, if that is the right decision for you, you can reintroduce it into your diet, just like he said, for a season, for a week, for a month, whatever, right? And it's also okay if you never decide to add that food back into your diet. Okay, so I skipped the Abbey, the me, so that we could get to what John was saying.
Okay, so here, I don't necessarily like disagree with anything that's being said. Again, I do think that, you know, not putting a moral thing on foods, like being like cheeseburgers are bad. And if I eat, it's mainly, I think, how it makes you feel about yourself, right? So if you put these morals on food, if you take the quote unquote bad cheeseburger and you put it in your mouth and eat it, then you are now taking the bad of the cheeseburger and now you're bad, right? Oh, I'm bad because I ate the bad cheeseburger. That's where I think the problem lies. Where if you're able to be like, this food is not good in the sense of if I'm trying to lose weight or if I'm trying to be my healthiest self, this food is not the best choice for me. Well, in turn, this food might be a better choice. That's okay. I think personally, right? Just being able to be like, okay, eating this salad is a better choice than eating, you know, 4 pounds of fries and a burger for dinner, right? Like being able to do that. But if you put the more on it where if you eat this, you are then a bad person and it makes you a failure, that's where it can be really dangerous. And that's where I would say you have to be careful.
Absolutely. I totally agree with everything that he just said. You don't want to base your decisions off of some weird like morality or thing that you've assigned to food that really has not that much to do with that food. If you think that like a certain food doesn't make sense to be in your diet because of your goals, like awesome. Like it sometimes is the right decision and it can come from a healthy place to say like that food just doesn't work for me right now for whatever reason. So super good points. And I'm so happy. Like this is what I love about getting multiple opinions on things is like you get to dive deeper. And of course, like my YouTube videos in the beginning were like all 10 minutes. Now they're getting close to mostly all being like 20 minutes because I do like to explain things a lot and really dive deep into things. But it's really tough when you're on a platform and people just want the information really, really quick to like explain all of this stuff fully. So this has been a really fun deep dive into some of the advice I've given before, and I absolutely love hearing other people's like thoughts on it. That's why I really want to start like interviewing people and having a podcast. If I can manage this year, I really want to start a podcast and just like talk to people about this kind of stuff. So those of you who aren't interested in this long form, like deep discussion kind of stuff, don't have to deal with it on YouTube. But let's keep going. I think we're moving on to the second video here.
So I think like a big part of when it comes to like if you want to track, right, if you want to do if it fits your macros or just track your calories in general, that's why I believe it's a good idea to have not just have a strict number. It's like I can only eat 1,500 calories. That's it. Well, instead, if you have a like a buffer from like I can eat 1,200 to 1,700 calories, right? And it just depends on how hungry you're feeling that day. If you're really hungry, you allow yourself to have more. If you're not as hungry, you don't have to eat as much. But just understand that you are never actually eating exactly the amount that you probably think you are, because again, like 0 calorie things aren't actually 0 calories. Like there are always going to be caveats to what you're eating and what you're tracking. It's never going to be perfect. Like you can get close, and I'm not saying you can't do it. I lost a lot of weight tracking. It's not impossible by any means, but just understand it is not an exact like number. Like you're not hitting the exact number that you might think in your head. So being okay with having that little bit of flexibility is important.
Yes, this is why I give my clients a range. Like no client is needing to hit an exact number for so many different reasons. Again, I talk about it in how my weight loss coaching has changed over the years, but trying to hit an exact number and obsessing about the numbers like specifically, it makes you lose touch with your own hunger and like your needs. And it just like, it's not accurate enough for me to feel like it even makes sense to like try to hit a specific number. It just like we're so on the same page. I love everything in this video.
What I tell my clients is to eat a minimum of 3 to 4 servings of veggies per day, 2 to 3 servings of fruit per day, and also to make sure that they're drinking enough water and they're eating enough fiber.
The whistle sound in the background. Oh, no! That's some old school YouTube stuff.
It wasn't, I know, I didn't know what I was doing. I'm sorry. I've gone back to those videos like once in a while, and the comments on there are just like, I can't believe, like, could you please like not have the music? The music is too loud. The music is the worst. Like, my audio was really quiet compared to like now that I'm monetized, because at that point I wasn't monetized. So like my audio was really quiet because I was using my phone. And so now in like post-production, we increase the audio to match the ads that are gonna play on the video. But before, when I was doing all this, I didn't have ads, so there was nothing to compare it to. So I didn't know that my audio was quiet. And so now all of those videos, if you're watching it in an ad, you have to have the volume up. And now when an ad plays, it's like blasting you. I'm so sorry. If I could go back and do it all over again, I would, I swear.
Okay, so in layman's terms, if you are eating low-calorie, high-volume foods, and eating a lot of them, a lot of fruits and veggies, right? You are more likely going to be full and not be relying or overindulging on lower volume, higher calorie dense foods, okay? So that's why it's usually good advice to eat fruits and vegetables. That's why when people say don't eat fruit, I'm like, what? Usually that's a good thing, right? And it's about adding this to your diet instead of taking things away. So if you add these things to your diet and you're full off of those things, you're most likely not going to eat XYZ thing that's going to be more calorically dense.
Huge reasons why I think flexible dieting is the best diet for weight loss is because
He's just jamming out to the music. Oh my God. I just felt like I wanted to crawl into a hole during this part.
period of time, you gain this really deep.
Okay, let's skip.
I don't know anything that she said. I was just jamming out to the music. I'm sorry.
Literally, when he said that, I was like, it looked like he wasn't listening. I was like, oh no. I don't blame you. Like I said, that video is painfully boring. Also, shout out to my video editor, Jess, now, who handles all of that, because I'm not good at it. Hi, Jess. We've come a long way, and I appreciate all of you so much who have stuck with me. I mean, whether you were here for the super horrible videos or not, I appreciate every single one of you way more than you could ever understand.
So, okay, I was just joking. I was listening. Yeah, I agree. I think this is something that I've said so much about, like, tracking your macros, tracking your calories, tracking your food. The reason I think that it truly is an invaluable tool for a really large amount of people is because it really does help you understand things, understand the food that you're eating, understand the calories that are in the certain things that you like to eat. Like, those things, like learning how to track and understanding how it works gives you invaluable information that I think is so important, especially if you're someone like me, someone like probably a lot of you guys that are coming from a place of just overeating all the time and not really understanding how many calories are in the types of food that you're eating. That's why I really get frustrated when people demonize tracking, and like there's been quite a big movement where it's like any type of tracking at all is like an eating disorder. People think you have an eating disorder, and that's so frustrating to me because I just disagree.
Yeah, someone actually asked me recently what I thought the next like diet trend would be, and my first response was like, I think this like anti-diet, anti-tracking, anti-anything is gonna get really huge. And so I just hope that, and the reason that I make all my content less of like, here's what you need to do, but here's how you figure out what you need to do, is because I want you guys to think about it for yourself, not just listen to what all these trends are. Yes, I absolutely agree that tracking can be unhealthy for some people, but if you're not one of those people, calorie tracking can be an incredible tool. I was recently having a conversation with somebody about tracking and whether it felt good for them or it didn't feel good for them. And this person was saying that on some days, calorie tracking feels so empowering, and other days it feels the opposite. Other days it feels restrictive and they don't like it. And I'm like, okay, so you don't have to be doing a certain thing 100% of the time. You can absolutely track on days where it feels empowering for you, and then practice not tracking, practice mindful eating, practice stepping away from tracking probably forever at some point, and just focus on those things on days that it doesn't feel good. Like, really internalize what you need. I cannot stress that enough. Like, having awareness of yourself, your tendencies, your habits, your thoughts, your feelings, all of those things are so valuable. So I highly encourage you to try to work out and build up this self-awareness skill, because it is going to serve you in so many different ways, including this stuff that we're talking about. Okay, so that's everything that was related to me in John's video, I'm pretty sure. And I totally agree again with all the criticisms that he had, even the light roasting, the toasting, if you will, that happened in relation to my super old video. I am so honored again to be mentioned amongst all of these great content creators. So I want to close out the video by talking about the other people that were mentioned. So John from Obese to Beast was reviewed in Abbey's video. Great content, super love like what he stands for, and his journey is amazing. And he actually like reacted to James Jansen the same exact week, I think, that I interviewed him for my channel in this video. So absolutely love, like I feel like we're very on the same page. I haven't watched a ton of his content, but I've watched, I feel like, enough to know that I really like his vibe. Abbey also reacted to Jordan Shrinks. I have also reacted to Jordan Shrinks in this video. It's, I think, one of my more popular videos, and I absolutely agreed with every single thing she said in that video. It was basically just like however many minutes of me like nodding and like, you know, diving deeper into the stuff that she discussed, kind of like what happened in this video. And then Jordan Syatt. Absolutely love Jordan Syatt. I feel like I mention him all of the time, like in consultations with clients on my YouTube channel. Jordan is amazing. And then Greg Doucette was the last one. I don't know very much about Greg Doucette. I don't watch his content. I think I've maybe seen like 1.5 of his videos. I do get a lot of comments from you guys though that like we're very similar, that like Greg is like the dad that like yells at you and tells you what to do, and I'm like the nice mom that like explains things nicely. So there you go. I'm very sensitive to sounds, and the yelling that happens in his videos is something I'm gonna have to get used to, but I should probably start watching his content. All right guys, that is the end of the video as usual. Thank you so much for watching. You can see the sun is starting to set. I don't know what time it is actually, because I'm filming with my phone. So in addition to getting a camera, getting a better mic, I'm also gonna try to improve my lighting and improve my backdrop. We're gonna be upgrading a lot of stuff this year. I'm super excited. I'm coming out with new one-on-one coaching really soon. I'm coming out with a new course soon. Like I said, I really want to like launch a podcast. I have big goals, big dreams for this year. I want to take you guys with me. I'm so freaking excited. Okay, so as usual, I feel like I already said this. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram and on TikTok, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.